Okay, we're back. It's dry. And you look at this one and then one next to it. This one's a lot deeper, but it's hard to get the same colors, and I grabbed the wrong yellow, so it made it look a little different. But it doesn't really matter. Depends on what yellow you use, you'll get a different look as well. It's not to worry, it's still going to be nice. Okay, let's get this camera lined up here. And hopefully I've got you straight. And we'll go on and add the traceable. You got your traceable. Mine's just on tracing paper just so I can see through it, but it doesn't matter if you've got yours on paper. You'll be able to see at the edge here. It doesn't go the whole way, so you'll know where you are on your sky. Just leave some sky in the water and some on top. And then you're going to just tape it down. I'm going to use transfer paper, but you can take the back of your page, color it with pencil, like just a graphite pencil. Just if you go like this on the paper, and then when you flip it over, you can trace and it'll leave a mark if you don't have any graphite. So I'm just going to do the moon and the two boats, and I'm going to freehand the land because it doesn't matter what shape it is. It's all to what you like and what you would like to have. Let me see here. Okay, so we're just going to trace the boat. And if I find a pencil, here we go. Okay, I'll try not to get in the camera view. I'll just double check to make sure it's marking. And it is. And we're just going to trace the sails. And the small part of the little hull. Let me see, just a little mark there. And then we've got the little hull here. And the mast. And a little buoy. And the rope. And another little buoy. And I'm just going to make a line for my horizon. Oh, the moon. You can use a glass to put this moon in and just trace the glass if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. I just made it all crooked, so I might have to fix mine. No, it's not too bad. And the other little boat. And a little line. And another line for the horizon so I can trace the horizon line and get it straight. And that looks to be about right. I'll put the line here for the top underneath the moon. And that should be good. I'm just going to take my ruler, which I've got stapled here so I can keep my canvas straight. And this is my horizon line, there and there. And then we're just going to go from there. Okay. I'll put this back on. Hopefully it's still straight. And now we can do the details. First thing we're going to do is, I'm going to just turn this a little bit, is take one of our round brushes, wet it, get some white paint, and we're just going to base coat in the moon. Try to go over your pencil line so that you don't see it, or you won't see it when it dries. we're just going to base coat it in so that it's a start. I've got a spritzer bottle. I'm just going to spritz some water on my painting palette. Oh, too much water. You need water to get the paint to move, but you don't want too much water so it doesn't make the paint too thin and it won't stick. And you're just going to bring it down to wherever you're putting your land. And if you smooth it out with multiple brush strokes like this, you won't get any line or groove or roll of paint on your, we can go a little below that because we're going to cover it when we put the horizon anyway. And you're going to base coat in just the sails. This is a super easy project. The hardest thing is the blending of the sky. Just stick with it. If it's not perfect, it won't matter. It'll look nice when it's done anyway. And we can always just keep on adding or trying to blend as you can, as fast as you can before it dries. And if you just bring your brush up just to the tip, you'll be able to make a straight line or a finer line that's easier to follow. I'm going to take a little bit of black on my brush, mix it with that white so that I've got a gray. Maybe just a little more white. Very light gray. And I'm just going to put some gray on this sail so that it's distinguished from the moon and the sail behind it. We can whiten that sail again after. We just want to be able to add a little bit more black to get a darker gray for the sail in behind. Hopefully I'm going straight here. I can't see. The light's not the greatest. And yeah, that's good for now. We'll let that dry. We'll give it a dry in a minute. Let's put in our land. I'm just going to add black and add a little bit of blue to it, just so that it's not flat black. It's just got a little bit of color to it. And then we're going to go along the horizon line. Try to keep it as straight as you possibly can. I can barely see mine, but it's there. And then on top of that, Move my pencil and my tracing paper. And you can add your landmass. And again, that's a matter of preference to how you want it to look. Add a little bit of water to your brush because it's dragging in the grooves of the canvas there. So I want a little bit of land there and a little bit here, and you want it to be jagged and irregular. We can add a little bit of tree line to that. We'll add some tree line to make it look not so weird. And when it crosses the moon, bring it up to the sail. And I went a little below it, but that's no biggie. And just put a little bit more so it's like a second coat. And on the other side, we'll just do the same thing. However you want your land to be. And that's good. Now we're going to add a little bit of trees. So you're going to take your liner brush, you're going to get it wet. It's just your detail brush. Dry it off a little bit. Grab some black. And you're just going to make a little bit of trees. And it's just little wiggly, irregular marks. And it's going to look just like it's trees on the hill. Remember, they're way in the distance. There's no real telling what they are. And you can make a little more detail on them if you want. Make them a little fatter. Just a little bit of detail there. Maybe a little, put a little bit here. Couple little lines just to make it look like it might be jagged trees along the lines. Maybe one or two over here, different heights, and it gives the illusion that it's trees. As simple as that. If you wanted to, you could put like a silhouette of a tree there. And that's good. It probably wouldn't hurt to do it in the bottom of your boat right now either. I got way too much water in my brush. I'm going to have to lift that out. Just, and lift. Press and lift. You can shape your boat as whatever way you want. There is a line there that the mast is coming to, and you've got a rope. And then you've got your other little boats over here, which is just a little boat like this. And if you go, try not to shake. Little mast. Another little buoy in the water. And you're probably gonna drag your brush just so that it's a finer line. Hopefully you can see here. Let's get some water. Make your black paint like ink. I don't know if you can see. Make it like an inky consistency. Roll your brush, drag and lift. It should bring it to a good point so that you can get a really fine line. For your mast. And then you're going to want to put, whoops, just wipe that out. You're going to use the same very, very little paint on your brush because you just want a shadow, right? And it's going to be wiggly. And it's from your mast in the water. It can be a broken line. It actually will look better if it's a broken line. Okay. So, I'm just going to dry this moon. Well, it feels dry actually. We'll put another coat on. Some water. Some white paint. While this is wet, we're going to take some of our blue and I'm just going to move it over here so you can see. Get just a little bit of blue on your brush, just a tip, and you're going to make a soft blue color. And you might want to even add just a little bit of black to gray it down. You're going to work most of it out of your brush, maybe even dry it on your cloth, and you're just going to add a little bit of texture and color to your moon. And I'm just tapping and tapping it in to the wet paint so that I get some texture and some color. And the more you tap, the softer it's going to get. And clean my brush. And let me dry that. I'll be right back.